Everyone has a story.
Pretty crazy evening. Hustle and see the fire that has fallen.
We all take a different path and face different hurdles. I'm your host, Sarah Strackhouse, and in this show, I get to interview inspiring women who are dedicated to making change.
The world is tough, so be tough.
Welcome to the Strackhouse. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm excited to introduce a fellow personal trainer for Camp Gladiator, Becky Pfeil. She's also the mother of two, a wonderful wife, as well as has 3 fur babies and 2 guinea pigs, and also is an overall ball of fun, but not without her own hurdles. Becky, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I want to jump right in and talk to you a little bit about your professional career before you found Camp Gladiator.
Right. So I went to the University of North Texas up in Denton and got a degree in home furnishings merchandising. It's basically a mix of interior design and fashion merchandising put into one. And I was fortunate enough to actually find a job right out of college in that industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me a little bit about what is Camp Gladiator? I know we know what it is, but those who are watching might not know.
So Camp Gladiator, we're an outdoor fitness company. We are those crazy people at 5 o'clock in the morning doing boot camps and parking lots. But we're an outdoor fitness company. The mission of CG is to positively impact the physical fitness and ultimately the lives of as many people as possible. And so the company focuses not just on workouts and exercising and getting a great sweat and burning calories and having this great physical transformation. It is a lot more focused in community and more emotional, spiritual, and community transformation.
Right. Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about, we went through the program together.
Yeah.
I know a little bit of your backstory, but you had a major life event that kind of turned things for you.
Right.
Can you tell us kind of where that happened, when that happened in your life, and then kind of how it led to your journey with
Absolutely.
CG?
So in, let me think, what year ago? It was probably a little over, like 5.5 years ago. I was married. My son was 5 at the time, just started kindergarten. My daughter was 3.5. And Sean had been battling some pretty severe depression. And we were in process of going through our own trials and tribulations as a couple. We had some life changes that were coming up, and he took his own life. And so it was completely, it rocked my world beyond belief.
Yeah.
My life changed in an instant, and I was suddenly a single mom with 2 babies.
Yeah.
And having no experience in life because my husband at the time, we had started dating when I was barely 20 years old.
Yeah.
I went basically straight from my parents' house to be with him, and so I had never been alone.
Wow.
And so it completely changed my entire perspective of life, of who I am, and it was the worst experience of my life. I would never wish this on anyone. But all in the same, I'm trying to always find positive, and it just catapulted me to becoming this incredibly strong, independent woman who can handle her own,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like before, I had no idea how much money was in my bank account. I'm like, the man's going to take care of that. And I was just very much focused on my job as a wife. I completely lost my identity of who Becky was. I lived to work, and I worked at a desk job. Granted, I had a fun job, but there were times after Sean's death that I would be sitting there thinking about my kids, the struggles they're going through, and people are upset and really stressed out about a deadline for a shower curtain or a bath towel. And I'm like, there has to be more to life than this.
Yeah.
I worked at JCPenney at the corporate office for about 14 years, 15
Wow.
years. Yeah. I had been there for a long time. And the company has gone through a whole lot of changes, and it's evolved. And I don't know if it would be unfortunate or fortunate enough to be laid off. And so it was very fortunate that I was basically paid to quit my job and just go on a soul-searching journey to figure out what I wanted to do next with my life.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about that soul searching. You know,
Yes.
people who might be in similar situations,
Yes.
you know, a woman or a man or anyone kind of thrust in that situation suddenly. Is there any advice you can give people for where to look or resources for help?
So my resources and my therapy through everything that happened was pounding the pavement. Like, I ran. That is how I dealt with everything. I was in process of training for a marathon when everything happened, when Sean died. And I had a marathon 2 weeks after. And my girlfriends flew in town. They ran the race with me. And that was like my therapy. And I have always loved helping others. And so, you know, after I was laid off, and I had this life insurance policy that I was fortunate enough to have, because we planned very well when we were first married.
Yeah.
I was able to invest my money with my financial advisor, and I just was talking to him. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what do you like to do? I said, I like to work out, and I love helping others. That's what I love to do. And I said, I want to be a personal trainer, but I have two kids I need to support. There's no way I can make enough money to support myself, my kids, a mortgage, and everything that comes with it. And, you know, he gave me the confidence. He was like, you never know. Just look into it. It's where my heart and where my soul led me. And so I went through the process to get my certification.
So how did you find Camp Gladiator?
Okay, again, my financial advisor.
Oh, wow.
So
We got to write down this name for people.
oh, he's amazing. Oh my gosh, he's amazing, y'all. So he encouraged me, and I was visiting him, going to his office, because I was basically like, I have no idea how to manage money. I need you to help me.
Right.
And so I was going and meeting with him pretty regularly. And then at one of our last meetings, he said, so how's this job search going? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I haven't really found anything yet. And he's like, you need to find a job. He's like, go home, look for jobs. And so, okay. So I went home, got on all the search engines for jobs, and just typed in personal trainer. And then it was very serendipitous. Yeah, serendipitous. The first 3 results that popped up were Camp Gladiator.
Wow.
Within 10 minutes of submitting the application, I got a call from a trainer in Garland named Aaron, and he just kind of talked to me about it. He was super cool, super chill. He had a professional background, and he's like, just come try a workout. And so I'm like, okay. So that evening, I went to my very first CG workout. I was very cocky walking into that. Like, I strutted in. I'm like, let's see what this boot camp thing is all about. Like, I've run marathons. I've done half marathons. I can deadlift this. I can bench press this. I'm super strong. I got this. And 15 minutes into the workout, Aaron said, and that was the warm-up. And I'm thinking, I am about to die. This is the most amazing thing I have ever done in my life, because here I am, in my mind, super fit, super active, working out next to a grandmother, and she was running circles around me. And I'm like, if someone can get that good of a workout with such different experiences and fitness levels, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then, you know, by the end of it, I was like high-fiving, hugging all these people. We were disgusting, we were sweating, we were laughing, we were having the best time. And I was like, yep, this is it.
But it's that sense of community that you were talking about.
Yes.
So tell me what finding your passion and merging your two passions and truly staying true to your dream and to you has done for your family and for you,
Oh my gosh.
especially after such a terrible thing happened?
I mean, I could tear up. I have chills right now, but it has changed everything for my family. Everything. When I worked at JCPenney, it was a 9-to-5 job. I mean, granted, I worked a lot more hours than that, but it was at a desk. I didn't have to bring my work home with me unless I had a deadline or anything. Mm-hmm. But it sucked my soul. It was not a fulfilling thing. At the time when I was younger, I had no kids, and I was able to be passionate about what my job was. It was great. But then when that shift changed in my life, and I just remembered kept telling myself there's so much more to life. Mm-hmm. And so towards the end there at JCPenney, I was just unhappy. Very unhappy, very unfulfilled. I was cranky at home. It was tough. But then now, granted, I work so many more hours and so much harder than I ever did at JCPenney. Mm-hmm. I make not near as much as I made at JCPenney, but the happiness in my house is just amazing. Like a cloud has been lifted. And I've actually asked my kids before, and I'm like, do you like life better now? Especially my son, because he remembers life before.
Right.
I'm like, do you like me now, or did you like me then? And he's like, I like you now. You're so happy, Mom. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's all that matters, as long as I'm happy, because y'all see me happy, and y'all are happy. Everyone's happy. And we still have our struggles, of course.
What person and family doesn't?
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, it has completely changed, and I would not trade it for anything.
So Becky, you've gone through a lot, and you've grown as a family, as a professional in this new career. Tell me a little bit about where your family's at now.
So I am remarried. I met an amazing man on the internet.
As most do now.
Yeah, and he has been a godsend. He is a very humble human being in a lot of respects, but he and I both, we have our demons that we've had to deal with, and he just accepted me and accepted the kids and all of the baggage and the animals just with absolute open arms. And so now I feel like after, Sean passed away when I was going through everything, I leaned on Eric so much, like so much. And I'm so grateful that now he has the opportunity to lean on me, because now he is going back to school to pursue his passions, because he was able to help me while I pursued mine. And so, yeah,
a true partnership.
Life, it is a true partnership. It is definitely, there is very rarely any silence or a dull moment at our house. It's filled with love and laughter, and fun.
I know, I've been there. It's always someone laughing. I love going over there.
It's the best.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. Well, again, kind of going back to some advice for people who might be in similar situations, might be struggling with a loved one who's suicidal, or might be suicidal themselves. Any words of wisdom or encouragement?
When someone asks if you're all right, be honest. Be honest with yourself, and be honest with those around you, and ask for help. There's never anything wrong with asking for help. I mean, I've struggled with anxiety and depression myself, and one thing that I have gleaned from all of this is have your family, have friends, have a network that you can lean on. Because with Sean, I knew there was something going on, but he had walls up, and so he didn't let me in a whole lot. At the time, I thought that was normal. In hindsight, that was not normal.
Sure.
But yeah, and then also just give grace to everybody. You never, ever, ever know if that person that you're honking the horn at because they aren't going when the light is turning green, you don't know what they're going through.
Right.
And that's one thing I really work a whole lot with my family and with my kids, like give grace. Give grace. Be a good person. Be compassionate. Always give others the benefit of the doubt because you don't know what they're going through.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I have one last question for you. If I knew you better, and I think I do know you pretty well.
You know me pretty well. Yeah.
But if I knew you better, what would I ask you? And it kind of stumps people, so take a second to think about it.
Okay. Okay, so if you knew me better, what would you ask me?
What would the viewers want to know? Is there anything, if, let's say someone's watching this show or listening and everything goes over their head, what is one thing you want them to take away from this?
Life is more. It's so much more. Just that. Life is more. Don't let yourself get bogged down in everyday minutia. Think about the big picture. And all in the same, be present in what you're doing right now, because you don't know, your life can change just like that. So, I mean, be mindful, be present, and be compassionate. That's my thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wonderful, Becky. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, of course, Sarah.
If people want to get in touch with you, they're inspired by your story, have questions,
Absolutely.
anything like that, what's the best way?
Oh, goodness.
Or in a social handle, anything like that?
You can totally look me up on Instagram. It is bootcamp_Becky. Or you can look me up on Facebook. All you'll see really are tons of pictures of my dogs, my kids, my guinea pigs, my husband, and pictures of my campers. Those are my
campers,
passions in life.
For those who don't know, campers are the people
My
who work
clients.
out. Yes,
Yes.
the clients of Camp Gladiator.
Yes.
But, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay,
of
well,
course.
anything else you want to leave people with?
No, you're awesome, Sarah.
Well, you're awesome, Becky.
Oh,
Thank you so
thanks.
much for coming
course.
on and telling your story.
Of
and,
course.
you know, hopefully giving other people hope who might be in similar situations.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you leave feeling so inspired, just like I am. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon. If you'd like to nominate an inspiring woman, email me at sarahstrackhouse@gmail.com. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.